Let's go. Welcome to the Quarterback School show. Let's do it live. Let me know how I sound. Hit me with your favorite emoji. We missed Monday night. What was going on Monday night? Basketball, baseball practice out here. Fired up for a little Friday edition, a little matinee edition. What time is it? A little brunch edition. I like it. Let's get the questions rolling. Let's just for fun see how long we can not go draft here. I know everybody's probably really excited, but let's just do like some generic football questions. It's appreciate it, George. Boom. Ooh, I turned off all my GIFs. Hold on. See how I can do this. Ha ha. White Russian season is over. You guys just getting amateur hour on my part here. It's all right. You can suffer through it together. Just really like that rocket. Too many. We're going to leave the rocket up there for a little while. Actually, see how I can try and what the shortcut is. So you guys get the full live experience here. Hold up for a hot second. This will give us an opportunity to get some very good questions in. And boom, just like that, it's gone. Let's go. Daniel, get to school, man. Brian, Coach Grays, what's good? A little coffee chat. I got a big dog. Coming in hot off vaccine shot number 2. I've heard rough things. It's Moderna. I'm living on the edge, so we'll see. Trying to stay hydrated. But the coaching staff is on notice. Might have to be a new play caller tonight. Never know. Ryan, I like that. Okay, Eric, I see you there. Boom, we'll start with that. What makes a coverage sky? And I'm not like a universal defensive guru by any means. I will tell you that in my experience, sky has meant strong safety rotation to the flat. I can't think of any other instance with that. Maybe safety to the flat. Maybe if I'm being too specific with the which safety. Field safety, strong safety, however you differentiate your safeties if you have multiple. That's just me. I like it though. That's a good one. I know a great course that talks specifically about how to beat every single coverage if you're interested in more in that.
Nope.
Who, just out of curiosity, who in the chat here has a game today? Playing, coaching, one way or the other. We're locked and loaded here. We got 2 weeks left in Southern California, San Diego high school football, at least our area. What else we got? Oh, here we go. Dave. Hi, JT. How would you define the intangible X factor for the quarterback position? Thank you. I'm not sure I would be able to give you a great definition as far as the X factor, it factor. The truth of it is it's probably like a bit of a soup, right? Like every ingredient matters. There's not one variable where you can be like, oh, this person has it, this person doesn't have it. Can some parts of it be developed? I think yes and no. And that's probably why it's not a great answer for you. I think most people would say they know it when they see it, but I don't really buy that either. I think for me, it's about, if I had to describe it one way, it would be the quarterback or any player being able to walk into a huddle, a team, a locker room, and you can see that person elevate everybody in the room. Staff, coaches, teammates, a crowd. There's just everyone kind of feels better, can play better, is inspired, those types of things. For me, that's kind of the X factor, it factor. We got some Good questions coming in here hot. Let me see if I can make sure I can be the best with them. Quentin, easy, bro. He's only out for a little bit. That was a bad. I got real nervous when I saw him laying down. I'm not gonna lie. It's a long season. Baseball, a long season. I'm still feeling strong. Pinor, yo, what up, JT? When I have a son, any tips on how to make him an acceptable QB? Yeah, the tip is to let him do whatever he wants to do. He wants to be in the choir, he be in the choir. Be the best you. Would be more than that, not acceptable QB. You know, there's a lot of quarterback resources available if that's the path that he or she wants to go down. Go nuts. Rusty, about to get it going in Bama. Yeah, spring ball is, I see pictures of like spring ball on social media. That's crazy to me that people are in spring ball, but you know, what day is it? It feels like the world's a bit upside down still as far as timing and calendars. Out here, we got Little League going on. We got high school football going on. It's just fun to be back doing semi-normal things, even if it's not identical to the experience it was in the past. Still fun to see people smile, enjoy, compete, get better, struggle, be resilient, all those types of things that are fun about sports. So that is very cool. George Smith, I remember you talking about Ocho Cinco like this. Do you prefer a wide receiver who always runs routes exactly, or one you just always find a way to get open? George Smith, that is a straight up great question. I will tell you that the answer is probably yes and both. You can't have a team full of people who go rogue and make it like recess out there playing football, in my opinion, for a long time, especially at the higher levels of football where so much of it is timing, precision, those types of things. And you also can't have a lot of people that just all they do is do what you ask them to do, straight line guys, and never create any separation. So you kind of have to have a mixture of both. Now, obviously, it's the best to have all of the above. But if I had to pick just one, I would prefer someone who gets open. If I had to pick, a group of one or the others, I've been around groups that I would say are rogue in their nature, and it's difficult to be consistent at that level. But I'd like to have a mixture of guys I could trust to be exactly where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. Doesn't matter if they're, the most dynamic wide receiver in the world. And then I would love to have one or two guys that I might not trust that they're going to have to hit their fourth outside step when we ask them to, but I know that they're going to be standing by themselves wherever the hell they hit their foot. And so those blend of that is what I think probably most teams would prefer. Obviously, you'd love to have everybody do everything exactly right, but that's not the nature of the beast. Renee Jeffrey, how was it living in Saskatchewan? I had a blast living in Saskatchewan, beautiful Regina. The fans up there were amazing. Obviously, wish we could have been a little bit better football-wise, but some great dudes. It was fun to kind of learn the CFL game from the inside, and I had a blast. Obviously, I didn't love it enough to live there indefinitely, but as far as being able to live in Canada, got a chance to vacation around a little bit, Lake Charles, Banff, got a chance to hit every major city up there. I had a blast. Brad, yo, what does that say? 11.7 QBs are drafted over the past 10 years from all over. What are they looking for, in your opinion? A lot small school guys get drafted. What are your order of importance? 12 years. I don't know if I really follow the question. I apologize. Try it again. I do love the color of that logo, though. I'm not going to lie, Brad. Always appreciate the support. Kansas football fanatic. I'm sure my rankings will come out eventually. Again, I know I will preface it in the rankings video that I do for real, but it's not a real ranking. Like, I'm not going to do a mock draft and be like, this is where, the best fit and things like that. I don't know that. And in reality, my analysis on this channel is very incomplete. And to think otherwise and to say otherwise would be very disingenuous. All I'm looking at is the little film that I have. Not having conversations, not doing different sorts of tests with them, not seeing them throw in person, like if that matters. I don't have a relationship with any of these guys getting drafted. I don't know anything about them, just the film. And so very incomplete. And then when I say my ranking, it's just where I would take them if I was starting a franchise anew or building an offense from this position. And so again, crazy incomplete. I know people love rankings and they love lists. I don't, but I do it because so many people ask for it. I acknowledge right out the gate, it's incomplete and not a great tool and probably not a great video, but I'm sure I will do one before the draft. Stevie Nash, yo, coach, did you like Slovis at USC? Yes, I do. I will do everybody who's coming at me for college football guys who are not draft eligible. I will do them as soon as the draft is over. Not as soon as the draft is over. Between the draft and the start of college football season, I will do just about everybody that I have film with. If there's a quarterback you want to see on the channel that I haven't done and haven't mentioned, send me the all 22. A bunch of different ways to get a hold of me, and I will do my best to make it happen. I got you, Brad. Let's try it again. On average, 12 quarterbacks are drafted each draft over the past 10 years. What are your order of importance when drafting a guy? A lot of small school quarterbacks are drafted. 12 is not a lot of quarterbacks drafted. Yeah, it's always, so this is a hard thing for people to get. And I know you get it because you're in the space, but think about, I don't know how many 5 stars they give out of like high school recruits for everybody who's a quarterback right now. You're a high school quarterback, you're a young quarterback, even you're a quarterback in college. The top, I like to say 10, if 12 is the number, I believe you, 10-ish quarterbacks are going to get drafted. 10. That means that you have to be the best quarterback available that year. That doesn't mean that you're the best quarterback in your class, right? This is the confusing part. Not only are you the top 10, 10-ish, but it can be years behind you as well. If guys who are younger come out in that draft class, now you're not in the top 10. So when it's, to me, that's the thing about the funnel, right? It gets harder and harder, higher and higher it goes. I don't think that there's any one specific trait or a handful of traits that say, oh, he's from a small school, it's not going to work. He's from a small school, it is going to work. I think what they do at that level is just project, can this player help us at this position? Do they make our team better? If yes, let's take an opportunity to draft and develop. Do we really like this player? I know for me personally, anecdotally, when I got drafted, the New Orleans Saints, the quarterback coach, was a big fan of mine. He did a deep study, unique. He thought it was a very unique study, and it was basically how many yards do you get every attempt? That was kind of his deep dive. And we threw the ball down the field a lot. So my number was really big in that. And so my value when they wanted to draft someone made the most amount of sense. And so I'm sure it's similar stories like that for everybody, but I don't think that there's, unfortunately, like, how I can differentiate guys who are at smaller schools versus larger schools. I think that there are some things, when you look at the top of the draft, that guys are usually fit every single box. Zach Wilson's probably on the smaller side. I don't know how big he is, but most of those guys are usually look the part. And so as you get a little bit lower, I think the league is obviously, kind of hear myself, besides for Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, the vast majority of guys are big guys that check all those boxes at smaller schools. Historically, probably aren't quite as physically crazy as far as their stature. But from there, I don't have any great input. I apologize. Daniel, have you ever had one of your high school QBs go to the Elite 11? If not, who is the best kid that you have coached, and where are they now? I've only coached 1.5 seasons, so no, we haven't had anybody go to the Elite 11. We've had good quarterbacks. One we had last year had a great season. The ones we have this year are developing nicely. Probably the guy who plays the majority of the time, the senior, is probably a better runner. We do a little bit more running at quarterback than we did last year, but the Elite 11 is, I'm sure, I know it's got I know some of the people that run the camp. I was a counselor at that camp back in the day. I think Elite 11 number 2. So I know the experience and the fun that it has. It's obviously developed into, its own kind of entity nowadays. And so it's fun to see those people compete, but I don't know where y'all are at in your evolution of football, but for me, my limited time coaching here for a year or so has reaffirmed what I've always believed playing, that playing quarterback is a lot more than camps, 7-on-7, a lot more than throwing routes on air, although we throw routes on air a lot, and I think it's important. There are elements that are transferable, but so much more of it is toughness, courage, standing in the pocket, getting smacked, fighting through adversity, making a bad play, bouncing back, inspiring your teammates, elevating the standard of play for the offense, being demanding, coachable, all those things that are hard to replicate in a camp, foreign camp environment. Now, you can artificially create those things in different competitions, but so much of a quarterback is dependent on everyone around you. And when you're in that camp environment where you're solo, competing with other people's perimeter players, it's just not, it's not quite the same. So if anything, it's just reaffirmed me, how important, how fun it is, how special it is to be a quarterback, to be able to lead your side of the ball, have the ball in your hands every single play, make good decisions, be tough, get smacked, bounce back, stand in the pocket, have courage, deliver a ball, strike down the field for a touchdown, and get hit, bounce back up, those types of things. Celebrate with offensive linemen, things you just can't do in those environments. Eric, I had a blast with the PFF guys. That was fun. We got 100, whoa, is that right? 150 people coming in hot. Do me a favor, if you haven't, smash that like button. Oh, super chat, Mike F. Sorry, I didn't see ya. Boom. Appreciate you. See what you got. Thoughts on Tua? His lack of tools makes me worried. What tools is he lacking? My thoughts on Tua, I'm still very high on Tua. I really am. I know people like to give me a hard time about the Herbert thing, and it is what it is. I think we'll circle back in half a decade and see what it really looks like. But, if Tyrod Taylor didn't take a puncture to the lung, there's a good chance Herbert didn't take a snap this year. And so there's an element of luck that plays into a small sample size. I still think that Tua is a very good player. I think Burrow's a very good player. I think Herbert exceeded everyone's expectations, and I don't think that there's any lack of tools as far as Tua. For me, I think he needs to stay healthy. I think he needs to get an opportunity to play consistently well at a high level, and I think that Miami's going to be a force to be reckoned with here moving forward. Patriots radio show, the official one, mentioned you again. There you go. I appreciate that, I think. T4 Trash. You think Mills will be drafted with the Patriots? Take a risk on that. I've never thought about it. Again, I know y'all, I appreciate everybody who supports the channel, and you probably get tired of me saying this, but that's not necessarily what I do or spend any time thinking about. I don't spend any time thinking about this team would be a great fit for this player. I think Davis Mills is going to be drafted. I think he's got the opportunity to have a really successful pro career. I don't think he's right now at the top tier of what this draft class looks like. I don't think that's a hot take by any means. I think he's probably in that lower kind of second, high third tier of what I think is this draft class. But that's just me. So the Patriots might love him, take him immediately. George Smith, do you believe that wins are a QB stat? That is a good question. That could actually be a video. Because yes and no is always the answer. In fact, I think that I probably will make that a QB video, a video. I have to take a screenshot of this chat now. Someone send me a photo of that screenshot. Do you believe that wins are a QB stat? And I want to do a video because it's not an easy answer. But the answer is yes and no. Jordan Galiendo, how does a shorter QB differ than a taller QB? Well, we're going to come back to that later. That's a good one too. We got a super chat. Boom. Ken Martin in the house. JT, do you think Mac could start day one for the 49ers coming from a similar system in Alabama? Or is the bench the best route for long development? Ken, excellent question. Yes and yes. He certainly could come in and play immediately. I know that they're both West Coast in origins. I don't know how much necessarily Sark overlaps with the Shanahan verbiage, vibe type thing. I'm sure there is significant overlap as far as him being able to walk in and understand it pretty quickly. And I think if you look across the landscape of the league, and I know I always use these two examples, I'm sure there are other examples too, but guys like Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes were not rushed into playing day one. And so, yes, I know that those are easy things, and I think you could look to say, hey, Russell Wilson, wasn't necessarily rushed into it. He earned the spot immediately. And I think that, the league has evolved a little bit in that regard as far as guys being able to play faster, younger. But I still think that there is a little bit of value, not as much as there was a generation ago as far as guys learning the game, because the game is better at lower levels. And also the NFL game is a little bit more collegey as far as things that they're asking the quarterback to do. So, yes, could he play immediately? I think he could. Would he be helpful to sit and develop a little bit and watch someone else do it at a high level for a few years or a year? Yes. Excellent question. I appreciate the support. Kevin English. What are some of the easiest to correct weaknesses at the quarterback position? Sometimes a long list can be deceiving if they are relatively easy to correct with NFL coaching. Thanks. I don't know if I like, if I could say the easiest to correct weaknesses. I think that probably the thing that is asked of young quarterbacks to change or adapt the quickest when they get to the league is the precision of the footwork. As far as, depending on the system that you're in, if you're in a system that requires precise footwork to time up with certain routes that maybe you weren't asked to do at wherever you came from before, it can be a little unsettling, the level of detail that goes into those kind of drops, footwork, timing, depth, all those types of things. I hesitate to say anything to do with like the throwing mechanics, because that I think is the hardest stuff to fix. I think it's just probably the combination of the footwork and just the volume of offense that's carried in the league. It's just probably more than most colleges or high school definitely high school programs carry. And it's just because it's your job. You have more time, different level of detail. Not that it's not your job in college. It obviously is your job if you're a college athlete at a high level institution. And you have even more time in the league to dedicate to it. So it's just more, the volume is more, and the understanding of it is more. But, if you're on the field wise, I think probably the attention to detail for the footwork would be what I would think would be the easiest to correct. I don't know. I might have to think about it a little bit longer. Daniel, I do not watch golf. Brian, hey JT, in your time in New England, did you and Brady bond over both the 6th round picks? No. Sorry. I don't think Brady is friends with every person drafted in the 6th round. Although, yeah, I don't remember it ever coming up. But, I mean, it is I think people think, I will say this. I remember before I was in the league thinking that if you get drafted, you're on the team. Like, that's great, you're on the team. Well, in reality, basically once you get past the 4th round, I would say the 4th, there's no guarantee that you're going to be on the team. Maybe not even the 4th round. I can remember the guy who got drafted ahead of me in New Orleans in the 5th round was a tight end from Penn State, John Gilmore, and I don't believe he made the team that first year. And that was the first time I was like, oh, I thought I was good. Like 5th round pick, the guy who got drafted ahead of me is not on the team. This is not good. And so, there is that. I know people, everybody, congratulations, you got drafted. I think it helps. But when you get to that like 6th, 7th round, I really do think that there is it's a little counterintuitive, but it's almost better to not be drafted, because then you can pick where you go. Obviously, it's great to be drafted and have any sort of guaranteed money. But would you rather have a small amount of guaranteed money with the signing bonus, or would you rather get to pick where you go and get a smaller signing bonus? I don't know. I think it's still pretty cool to say you got drafted, but what's the difference between getting drafted late in the 7th round and being an undrafted free agent and getting to pick where you get to go? Boom, 2 cracked. Appreciate it. Super chat, super sticker, whatever it's called. Man, we got 182 of our closest friends. I appreciate everybody who's hitting like. I'm going to have to do these kind of midday Friday lives a little bit more. We're coming in hot. There's no way that I'm going to be able to get to all these questions, especially the all caps, Nick. But I do appreciate everybody engaging with it. It's good stuff. See what I can do. I'll just randomly pick out a couple and see what we got. Trevor Trout. I think Mac Jones can be a 7-year starter because he does the NFL QB things very well. Keeps his cleats in the ground, eyes up. Do you think fans are overthinking him because of his physical tools? I don't know why necessarily there's a cap on the years he can be a starter for you. I think he did a great job this year. I think that there are just other guys that bring more to the table. I think like just about every quarterback, it will matter very much where you end up, what your organization looks like, what your team looks like, what the people around you looks like. So much of it is luck. I don't think that there's any kind of cap as far as what his potential is as far as years starting or anything like that. Big Dap 100. This is a good one that I get actually a decent amount. How do you improve your accuracy? So the first thing that I would say is there's no one answer to this. Okay, the easiest answer is to just play catch more. Thanks for that, Coach. What I would challenge people to do if you are very serious about your game is to find whatever you possibly think is your local resource. You know, there's gurus in every town. There's different ways to kind of get feedback. So I would seek out constructive feedback from someone that you trust or a respected resource. And then really what I think everybody calls deliberate practice. So it's not just about going out and playing catch in the parking lot, you know, as you're tailgating. It's about going to the park, working on the things that you need to work on, whether it's footwork, drops that you can do by yourself, and then getting a group of receivers or a receiver or someone who can catch spots and going out there and working your craft. And whatever you need to work on that you've identified as your thing, be really deliberate with that practice. Have it be as consistent and repeatable as possible, and go from there and be deliberate with your practice. Don't just go out and throw. Yeah, we're going out and throwing. I'm throwing routes on air. All right. So that would be how I would tell you to do it. Now, I am not that resource for you, but there are many great resources out there that can help you with that type of stuff. Dang, Terrence Williams, are you serious? It's real, man. Come on. Help me help you. Bruh. Martin, hey coach. Let me just say this about the hey coach thing. I am not your coach. You do not have to call me coach. In fact, don't call anybody that isn't your coach, coach. I'm not mad about it. I just think it's a weird thing that people do. Hey coach, have you heard about the European League of Football with the Frankfurt Galaxy? Greetings from Austria. Martin, I played for the Galaxy. I haven't heard specifically about the European League of Football, but that's exciting. I had a bunch of friends that went and played in Austria as well. I want to say throw another shrimp on the Barbie. Also, I think, what were they called? The Vikings? Is that right? Or is that from the book? I don't remember. Either way, I love to see American football played in different countries. I think it's very, very challenging, but I know that people over there love the game and really are like craving more knowledge of the game, and have had an opportunity to interact with people around the world trying to play the game, whether it's in Australia, Israel, Europe, a bunch of different places. So I love it. Would love if you ever get like a streamed game of the Galaxy, hit me up. I would love to see it. This is taking a sidebar somewhere, but I feel like coaches call each other coaches because it's really important for them to be called coach. I don't know. Maybe I think it has something to do with the fact that I spent years to get a doctorate, and don't make people call me that. And I didn't spend very much time at all to become a coach. And so it's weird. It's just, I don't know. I think it's my own issue. I also feel like I know that I used to call coaches coach when I didn't know their names. And so when people say, hey, coach, I'm like, yeah, you don't know my name. Orbo and friends, be careful, bro. All right, let's do a few more here. It's about lunchtime. Maybe not. Either way. Ooh, Daniel, that's a good call. The helmet collection is not that great. Z, what up? The helmet collection is not that great. I didn't take every helmet from every organization I was with, mostly because when you get cut, you just want to leave the building. I didn't think, God, I'm going to go steal all my gear, all my Reebok gear. Maybe if it was Nike gear, I would have kept it. So no, I do not have every helmet that I played with. I should have. George Smith, 1616. Let's see what you got. I hear it said a lot. Uh-oh, that's never a good way to start. Criticism about Justin Fields or any Ohio State QB or other schools like USC who have QB not pan out that well. Is that a reason not to want to draft someone? The answer to that is an absolute no, in my opinion. I don't hear, I hear whispers of the same thing that you're saying there. For me, and then just about everybody I've ever talked to that's in the industry as their profession, and I'm meaning like a pro scout, pro personnel, GM, pro coach, high level, college recruiter, they are recruiting the player, or they are scouting the player, not the institution. I think it is hard for people, especially really passionate fans, people who have been tethered to an organization or a school, an institution their entire life, to differentiate that. But I think people who do it for a living try to do it all the time. I don't think they always do, because you certainly hear the thing that you're saying there about the Ohio State thing, USC. I would even say like Texas, to a certain degree, maybe has that same stigma. I'm sure that there are other schools that I can't think of. I don't think so. I think people who do it for a living can pull it apart, but I think that it's harder for people who don't do it for a living, just because, they see the decal on the helmet, and it's hard to, to just try to scout the player, not the institution. Boom. TV Nop. I have no hobbies. That's not true. Back before pandemic, I used to think of myself as a pretty good pickup basketball player, but now it's been a while. I'm also very good at wiffle ball, backyard wiffle ball specifically, and that's about it. All right, y'all. I can feel myself getting tired. I don't know if it's the second shot or if it's doing this, but I sincerely appreciate hanging out. We got up, almost up to 200 today. I will do my best to try to make this thing happen Monday night. Yeah, Monday night. Get back on schedule. We're getting closer and closer to the draft. I will keep cranking out stuff. Probably going to get some, I can't think of the dude's name, SMU quarterback next week. If you're part of the Quarterback School Patreon community, let me know what you want to see Patreon-wise next week. And there's a few other quarterbacks that I want to hit that I haven't hit. Why can I not think of them? The Texas quarterback again, Sam. I think I have more stuff there. But if there's someone else that I haven't hit that is coming out of the draft this year, let me know, and I will do my best to watch a little bit and share. Other than that, I always appreciate the support, and I'll see you on the other side. All right? Have yourself a good weekend.
Bruh.